The main event of the evening, the afternoon and the morning. This man here is not only a legend for what he's done in hip-hop, what he's done in wrestling. This man is an absolute legend. When they told me this was happening, I didn't even know this. They told me this. I was like, well, damn. They get a legend at Violent J on my first live show, absolute legend, who I was watching when I was young. Well, WWF days, man, shit. Listen, I would like to introduce the absolute legend, Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse. Make some noise, y'all.
Everybody come see the radio show. Get them up all Juggalo and roll. Everybody come see the radio show. Get them up all Juggalo and roll. Down to the ground, get your ass out the way, 'cause here we come and we bringing this spectacle to Indian town. We got
Make some noise, y'all, for Violent J, y'all.
Most people don't like these ISDs. Most people would love them ISDs. If you think it's too good for us, sideshow freaks, let me know, and I'ma win smack your cheeks. Come on.
It's surreal, man. Surreal for me. I gotta stand up and buy this for a minute. Violent J is in the building. Woo-woo. Now listen, man. I have so many questions. And smiling like a kid in the candy store right now because I'm here with a true inspiration, man. But, you know, I always start this podcast with a lot of questions that us entertainers do not get. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. I'll tell you this. If I'd have known that at 51 years old, my life would be the way it is, like if I'd have known I felt the way I do, if I'd have known my conversations with a girl on the phone still sound exactly like they did when I was 22, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't have worried about getting older. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't that bad being 51 at all. I actually enjoy this point of my career more than I have any other point. You know, it's just, I really find myself enjoying life with the exceptions of like, nobody can escape the trials and tribulations of being human, which means like anxiety or depression or panic attacks, you know, things like that that some of us go through. I don't know if there's any way around that due to success or anything like that, you know. But in life, I find myself more content now than I ever been.
Damn, make some noise for that, y'all. Make some noise for freedom. And you put in a lot of work, brother. You know, for all, you know, I'm not making myself sound, you know, incredibly too young, but I remember growing up and watching WWF and watching you guys pop up on TV. And I'm young, I'm 10, 11 years old. I'm 35 now. But just seeing this, and I want to give them their flowers, I want to tell him this while he's sitting here right in front of me. You know, there was the first inclination of people who came in music. You had Run DMC. You know, they were, you know, in the 80s when they did WrestleMania, they were kind of like the first hip-hop act to get in. And then, you know, you saw, you know, they had little small increments, but they were the true groundbreakers, the Insane Clown Posse, when they came into the wrestling business. And what they did, they were the first to trailblaze it, not only with their own music doing it, but being active in the ring doing it as well. They were the first, so make some noise for this trailblazer. You know what I mean? Teasys Table is about giving people their roses, and this man is absolutely, him and his partner absolutely trailblazed the wrestling business. And I want to thank you because with me making theme songs for these guys now, you were a direct inspiration to me. And seeing what you're doing now, you know what I mean? It means a lot to me, brother. Thank you.
You can't thank me for that. That was probably one of the top 3 highlights of my life. I can't be thanked for something that I'm so incredibly grateful for. You got to understand, me and my partner, we were wrestlers before we rapped.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Back in the day when I was 14 and he was 11, we built the wrestling ring in our backyard. We pounded a railroad post into the dirt. We took garden hose that we garbage picked and wrapped it around for ropes, you know, and we handed out flyers, and every Saturday we gave a free backyard wrestling show, you know. This is important to know. We didn't think, we didn't dream, we didn't hope we were going to be wrestlers. We knew. I mean, I'm telling you,
Amen.
we would have passed a lie detector test. It's like there was no doubt we were going to be wrestlers, right? We set that energy for years, all the way till when I was 17, lying about my age. I lied and said I went to wrestling school, and I became an independent wrestler around the Midwest. This is before ICP. I called myself Corporal Daryl Daniels, and I had the Army gear because my brother was in the Army and he was sending home the free Army gear. So I said, well, I ain't got nothing else to wear. I'm an Army guy now, even though I had a mullet, and you can't have a mullet in the Army.
Right.
But anyway, so we put that positive energy that we knew we were going to be wrestlers. So when I turned 19 and hip hop had fully overtaken that dream, me and Shaggy could not deny. We now knew we were going to be rappers for a living. All right, so that's all we thought was hip hop. We turned wrestling off, and we went with what we in our gut we couldn't deny. But when we were 26 years old, and we had our first, when I was 26, and we had our first platinum album, the WWE called us and said, we want you guys to make the ring music for a team we have called the Oddities. And we were like, do y'all know we wrestle? And they were like, what do you mean? We're like, we wrestle.
Right, right.
And so they flew us to Stanford, and we wrestled. I wrestled Bruce Pritchard, or was it Tom Pritchard? Tom Pritchard. And Shaggy wrestled him, and we wrestled each other. Next thing you know, we debuted at SummerSlam, coming to the ring with the Oddities and slowly being worked into the thing. And what I'm saying is, I don't know if anybody knows what the secret is, or the laws of attraction, or the powers of positive thinking.
Amen.
You could think it's corny, but I'm telling you it's a fact, because we applied that energy, not dreaming or hoping, but knowing we're going to be wrestlers. That even when we changed our dream later, that shit came back and got us. It was like, yo, you earned this. Do you still want it? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's true. And so we did it. We did WWE for 3 months. Then we left there and we did WCW for 3 months on 2 different stints until it became a job because of our music career.
Right.
We would be on tour all week, and then every Monday flying out and doing that, you know. And it became really hard. So once we got tired, we said, all right, let's go back to music, you know. But that dream came and got us because we earned it. We knew. So no matter what it is, if you know you're going to be doing that, it could be a physical item. It could be a pink Corvette. If you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to have a pink Corvette,
absolutely,
you will end up with one. That's a guarantee. But if there's any doubt, it probably won't happen. You know what I mean?
You ain't telling no lies. Make some noise for that, y'all. That's true game right there. True game. Me and this man are attesting to that in our journeys. You know what I mean? That it is possible. You put in the work. You believe it. It sounds corny. You know, you go down your Instagram and you see like 500 motivational videos. You be like, man, I don't feel like reading it, looking at it. But it's real. It's actually real. And you see this man right here is a testament to that. So let's go back to the beginning. You know, we all got inspirations. You know, who are some of the people you watch that inspires you to get into wrestling? Say, you know, I want to do this. Who are some of your heroes?
Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
I mean, say what you will about the man. As an entertainer and a kid growing up watching that, I was enthralled by him. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The energy, the excitement. You know what I'm saying? He was the man to me. You know, and then you know, the Road Warriors. You know, man, it's endless because we were such fans. You know, it was, you know, there's not many people I'm nervous to meet, but when me and Shaggy met Vince McMahon, it was like our mouths dried out, you know?
Yeah.
Like we had instant croton. Like nobody's ever done that to us. But this guy was responsible for so much happiness, so much escape. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From our fucked up childhoods or our lives at home, wrestling was always there. You know what I'm saying? And we felt most responsible for that would probably be Vince, you know? And so when we met Vince, man, we didn't even barely have words, you know what I'm saying? We were stunned. You know?
Intimidating dude to meet, huh?
Yeah, but it was all of them. It was everybody. It was all of wrestling, you know? It was the idea of two guys in a ring faking a fight, right?
Right.
79,000 people engaged in every move to no end, like on the edge of their seat, literally going insane over a fake fight. You know why? Because there's so much more to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's so much more to it, the craft of the art. There's so much to the psychology of it. It's insane to even explain to somebody that's not a wrestling fan what they're actually looking at. You know what I'm saying? Because there's storylines that last years. It's so fascinating in so many levels, you know, and you know, and so that escape was just the whole picture is what, you know, it obviously created ICP. Look at us, we're a gimmick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're a music band, but we're a wrestling act first. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You think about it. We're a gimmick, you know, we're like characters, you know, we're like a wrestling tag team. That's how we approached music, you know, and we do our shows the same way. Our music is the same way. We're not really running around with an axe, chopping people's heads off, you know what I'm saying? But the music is an escape, you know what I mean? Just like wrestling, you know, we owe more to wrestling, the whole business of it, than we do anything in music, and we're musicians.
Yeah, amen. And look at how you guys were able to blend both, because that wasn't done. You know, when you guys came in and did that, just to be able to blend, not only to make the music, but to go into there and wrestle. You know what I mean? And to be able to be a pioneer. And now you see, you know, the way that the industry's going. Now it's like it's commonplace. You know, but as when you guys started it, nobody was doing that. That wasn't going down like that, to be wrestling and to be a musical act, to have that balance together, to be able to do that. That wasn't done. Now you see the Bad Bunnies, all these people that do that now, you know, in WWE is kind of commonplace. They market it a certain way. But these guys were the first to get to that level to do that. You know what I mean? So now, you know, what are you doing now wrestling wise? What are you working on now with your wrestling projects now?
Well, right now, I'm managing the Brothers of Funstruction and Billy Corgan's NWA.
Shout out to NWA. Shout out to Billy, man. Shout out to Billy.
I've been doing that for a couple months. Yeah, it's dope too. It's fun, you know. I do this because I love this. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, that's what I'm doing now. Shaggy is. We were just talking about it in the hallway. Shaggy is so banged up. I mean, Shaggy was always the great wrestler.
Right.
You know, I remember in WCW, they were going to give him the cruiserweight belt. You know, because they thought it would be shocking, and he could carry it. Right. He was that good.
Right,
you know?
right.
But you know, Shaggy broke his neck, and he just really fucked himself up. You know what I mean? So he doesn't do wrestling no more, because he's like me. He knows that even if he said, "All right, I'm not gonna do nothing but stand ringside and do mic work," right? When he gets there, you know, you can't stay out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the lights turn on.
Let me get a spot or two
yeah.
while I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're out there being in a 6-man and shit, you know? So he's just like, I ain't doing no wrestling, you know? Except for our wrestling, our promotion, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, which we do at the Gathering.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talk about that, man. Talk about that inception of Juggalo, you know, wrestling, and how that started, and what you're doing with that. Talk about that. Let's talk about what your project is.
Man, I'll tell you a story never told before. All right. See, we like I said, we were wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And our fans, Juggalos, didn't know we had any idea anything about wrestling right in the beginning. First couple albums. So we put out this product called Stranglemania. Yeah. And Stranglemania was off the hook because it was a when videos and DVDs were around. It contained, it ain't shit now, I know, but listen. At the time, for real, when that came out, Nobody had seen any death matches. There was no broken glass, thumbtack, barbed wire, no bombs going off in the ring. Nobody had seen that.
Right.
As a fan, I'm flipping through Wrestling Insider, and I see a little ad in the corner. Little ad. It wasn't even a corner page. It was a little ad. It said, exploding ring, barbed wire, death, broken glass, matches from Japan. Order here. And I'm thinking, what? Bullshit. I'll see it when I believe it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Something like that. I ordered them. They came, and there was no commentary. It really was what they advertised. And there was no play-by-play. It was just the matches, filmed professionally in the most outrageous characters and no commentary. So what we would do is we'd put that video on, me and Shaggy, for our friends, and we would do the commentary. And it was funny.
Right.
And we'd have everybody rolling. And on top of that, the footage itself had never been seen. So we put out Stranglemania. We went in the studio and we did the play-by-play to it. Boom, we did that, right? So we did a show in Detroit called Stranglemania Live, right?
Right.
And ICP was going to wrestle for the first time ever in a steel cage against the Rednecks. And we sold out 1,000 people. It was a beautiful venue, balcony. And we found these deathmatch wrestlers. We there was none at the time, except a group out of Louisville, Madman Pondo, Too Tough Tony.
Okay.
They were doing it. So we brung them up and we put on these type of matches that were on Stranglemania in person. And in the main event, me and Shaggy wrestled in a steel cage against the Rednecks. Shaggy did a leg drop off the top of the cage, threw a guy on a table.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Damn.
Anyway, we did all that, and then after that, we said, let's start a promotion.
Right.
So we met a guy named Dan Curtis who was running a hotline at the time. Does anybody remember them wrestling hotlines?
Oh yeah. I ran up my grandmother's bill a couple times.
We'd be on tour, and I'd be calling every day, getting a hotline, getting the scoops on wrestling and everything. And I liked that guy, Dan Curtis, so I started leaving messages, letting him know. We became friends, and we ran a show called Hellfire Wrestling in Detroit at the Majestic Theater. It was our first show ever. It was a success. It was sold out. Unexplainably, the next day, Dan Curtis passed away. It just,
wow.
I still don't know what happened.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Dan Curtis.
Wow.
But after that, we chilled for a while, and about 6 months later, we said, let's go ahead and just open up our own promotion, JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, you know? And at the time, we called it Championship Wrestling because it was mostly funny, and we weren't taking it very serious. But over the years, once we started touring the company, we dropped the T and put the P in there and started taking it much more serious, you know what I mean? And JCW still exists to this day. You know, we just ran on Halloween in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, and we run at the Gathering every year, you know. And we're running that Juggalo weekend in Peoria in February. So we run, you know what I mean? We still stay active, you know what I mean?
Man, I'm pulling up. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to be watching, looking to live attendance. I'm pulling up. It's Detroit, right?
Hell yeah. No, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
It's everywhere? Oh, okay. I'm definitely going to pull up. That's awesome, bro. Y'all make some noise for that, man. That's some legendary shit. That's dope. Okay, so now, you know, I got to ask you this. How is that experience now, like, being a veteran and now seeing the landscape of wrestling now? Like, what's your opinion on the landscape of the game now? That you've been around, you've done it for so long. You know, I know if you do or don't watch it currently, what's going on. But what's your opinion on the landscape of the game now compared to back then?
Oh, man, you know, when I think about wrestling today, honestly, Logan Paul.
Yes.
He blows my mind.
Dude.
I can't lie.
That dude, I'm telling you, I'm honestly, not to interrupt you, I'll be honest with you guys. As an entertainer, you see it. Some people just got it.
They got it.
He got it.
You got to understand, all right? These guys were YouTube stars, all right?
Right.
They took YouTube to heights never before seen, okay? Undeniably. I thought what they were doing sucked.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. The fact is, they were crushing YouTube all the way to the heights. Then, Jake Paul, both of them become boxers. Literally, they become boxers because they get into an argument with another YouTube guy and they challenge him to a match.
Right.
Right?
Right.
During training for boxing, they discover they love boxing. They legit compete with world champions now. And they're like undefeated. Like Jake Paul went to the limit with Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
What the fuck?
Right. 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 I watched the whole fight. I'm like,
you know what? Wait. Jake Paul just beat Nate Diaz. I mean, what's going on, right? Then Logan gets into wrestling on a celebrity thing, right? Then he discovers he loves it. Look at him. He's doing moves wrestlers ain't even doing.
yo, I'm telling you, a lot of people been in the game 30 years and cannot cut a
You
clean
gotta
promo
give it
like
up
that.
to those guys, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are they got to shine in immense amounts, man.
Absolutely.
Whatever they set their mind to,
It's a fact.
they're killing it.
It's a
And
fact.
that's undeniable. So I just think about that, you know, and I'm just discovering GCW. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. They running
Yeah.
tonight too. Make some noise for that. Yes, sir.
And I'm really digging that. You know what I'm saying? And Vampiro is coming to stay with me and for a while in Detroit, and we're gonna be doing a lot together. On I'm hoping we get something cracking with GCW. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I just like I'm enjoying myself. You know, ICP isn't touring anymore the way we used to. We're only playing our annual events and festivals. So if instead of going out in the bus and going out for 2 months every night, we don't need to do that no more. You know what I mean?
Right.
We just play festivals and our own annual events. So we play like, 8 times a year. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 times a year. I like that though.
That's dope. So that gives you time to
have fun and
to
do
have
other
fun
things,
and
you
to
know.
do and
Not
do
that
other
ICP
things.
ain't fun,
Right.
but the only fun part is taking the stage. You get what I'm saying? It's on tour sitting around all day that sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh. Let's have that conversation, right? That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast. I feel you though. So, shout out to Logan Paul. Shout out to those guys now that's handling that within the landscape of the business today, especially from the inspiration back then to see the evolution of the business, the $1 million
Dominic
corporations.
Mysterio. I mean, these guys are crushing it, man.
Dude.
These guys are.
Absolutely.
It's exciting. I'm not one of these guys. Wrestling was all better in my day. I don't feel that way at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
love what's happening in wrestling today. I don't watch it as much as I used to. I can't front, but and that's very strange. You know what I mean? That I don't. But I watch so much YouTube now that I don't catch the live shows on regular TV as much as I used to because I'm constantly watching YouTube.
Absolutely. So musically, what are you working on now? Musically, what's the next projects you're working on? I know you got your classics that you have, but what are you working on now? What to update the people what you got coming?
Well, actually, we just dropped the EP, me and Shaggy. We just dropped the EP, and that came out at the Gathering, which was in August. You know what I'm saying? So the next up is the new album, and we decided we're gonna record it slowly, like a song a week style. You know what I mean? Instead of getting together and banging it out, it's like I want to take my time, and when I hear a beat that inspires me, or I'm inspired by an idea, write for it. Wait for that to happen and then write for it. I don't want to go in the studio and bang it out every day and be like, oh shit, we're having a bad day. I just want to work off pure inspiration, and so I think that's what we're gonna do.
Absolutely. So, obviously these people here are in attendance, you know what I mean, showing love to you for what you've done in your amazing career, all these phenomenal years. They're pointing at her too, you know what I mean? She's a big fan. So, talk about, I want to ask you this, when it's all said and done, because I think this is very important, and seeing these fans here who have come to support you, how have they supported you over these years? What have the fans done for you? And give your flowers to the fans. What have they done for Insane Clown Posse, for Violent J? What have they done for you respectively?
First of all, let me say this about Juggalos, all right? All my life I've read this kind of stuff about Juggalos. Not so much in a negative light anymore. But the majority of my life, or my career, which is 30 years, right, 32 years, with the majority of that being a good 26 of them, all I've read is, oh, the show was awful. The only one having a good time were the Juggalos. Other than that, if you're not one of them, you're throwing up. All the albums suck. Only a Juggalo could like this. What are Juggalos at the end of the day? People.
Amen.
So you might as well say, oh, that show sucked. The only ones having fun there were the people. All that album sucked. The only ones that hate it, the only ones that can enjoy that are people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, just because Juggalos have a name that they go by their crew, that don't make them any less or any more than anybody else. Those are human beings. You know what I'm saying? So we got people that love the music. You know what I'm saying? Juggalos are just as important as any government, politician, anything. You know what I'm saying? If not more in my book. Juggalos enabled me to put my kids in college. You know what I'm saying? I dropped out in the 9th grade. My kids are damn near role model. Juggalos did more for me than you could put words to. There's no way to sit here and sum it up with any vocabulary, no matter how deep your fucking knowledge is. There's no way to word how grateful or how in debt we are to Juggalos, all right? Brother, it's beyond words. It's the only reason we're relevant. If we're making all this music and they're not out there listening, we might as well be singing it on a mountaintop somewhere. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, it don't matter if nobody's listening. Juggalos are what relevance us. Juggalos are what takes people take us serious because of Juggalos. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck would ICP even be? Why would anybody care if there wasn't Juggalos, And people got it all wrong about what Juggalos even are. People say to me, man, they're lined up out there at 3 o'clock already. They must really love you guys. They don't even get it. They're not lined up out there at 3 o'clock because they love us. They're out there loving each other. It's a camaraderie.
Man. Yes, sir.
I'm saying that's what it's about. I mean, that's what the whole thing is about. It's about belonging to something. It's about belonging to something with other people you have something in common with. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And the only reason people hate on it is because, number one, they don't understand it, and people fear what they don't understand. You know what I mean?
Amen to that. That's a bar.
The other reason they hate on it is because they secretly, this is what they're really saying. Those motherfuckers are over there having fun. Bunch of assholes. Look at those dorks having fun. They should be miserable like us. They should be bumping into people wanting to fight them, and everybody be a stranger to each other. They're all over there knowing each other. Fuck them.
Facts. And you got to, and I understand this because, me being an artist myself, I have seen the impact you guys have had so many years on people. Talking to people that are massive fans of what you guys have done. As a group, solo, you name it. You guys have had a direct impact on this game for so long. You know why? Because you didn't take the route everybody else took. You stayed true to yourself, and you did it your way. And I think a lot of times in this, a lot of us lose sight of that because we kind of conform to kind of what we want other people to do sometimes. But these guys have done it their way for decades. You know what I mean? They've done it their way. They've made history. And, we all want to thank you, and I want to thank you personally, for the impact that you've had on us, not only in wrestling, but in the game as well. You see so many people here acknowledging you for what you've done, brother. So I want to give you a public flowers and say thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And, shout out to Shaggy, man. I hope he gets better.
Oh, he's fine. He is better. He just is like, I ain't getting hurt no more.
So, I gotta ask you this. So you've done so much in wrestling. Is there anything that you haven't done that you want to do in wrestling that you haven't done yet? Is there anything you want to do?
I mean, I'd like to be everywhere. Once I'd like to show up at AEW or something, Like, I don't expect them to, hold on, no, First of all, Shaggy ain't gonna do it, so that cuts any chance of that way down. The other thing is, I would like to do something like on a house show for them or something. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's just if they said, well, I got like a comedy spot or something. I got a partner, come on out here. And then I come out and everybody's like, what the fuck? You know, like I like a comedy spot. You know what I'm saying? Like just so I can say I've been in the AEW ring. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just one time thing. So we'll see. You know what I mean?
Man. Yeah, man. Hey, everybody watches Powers That Be AEW. I know if I can make anything happen, but yo, we need to get this man on television, man. We need to get this man on AEW. He deserves it. He earns it. Tony Khan, you watching? Shout out to you, Tony. Make that thing happen for the man. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah,
so,
make it happen.
You know, they got to make that happen,
That'd be
man.
awesome.
Absolutely. So, you know, what I'm gonna do is, what'd you say? Oh man, you know what? You making me choose a side here? I ain't choosing no side on that. So, group?
Say it again. What is?
Super group with Swerve.
So, what do you mean super group? Like, oh hell yeah,
hell yeah.
Bring it to it. Let's do it.
Hey man, if he home, man, you know what I mean?
Come on.
You know what I mean, like
chemistry, man.
We can make that happen. So, you know, one thing I want to do, man, again, is say thank you to all of you for coming.
Hell yeah.
Thank you to all of you for coming. You know, my first live show, you guys did not have to be here. You guys pulled up, and I'm in debt to each and every one of you. Hopefully, they bring me back, and we can do another one. And to you, man, you are an absolute legend. Thank you for being the inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Violent J, stream the music, buy the albums, go to the wrestling shows. You got a big fan right there, man. She loves you, man.
Yes, I see this.
That's amazing.
Give a thug a hug.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You know, thank you guys for coming to the Teasys Table podcast. This is Violent J.
Yeah.
Teasy. May God bless you guys. Enjoy the convention. Much love to you guys. And God bless. Take care of yourselves.
Everybody